people who will tell you we're being visited. From what I have gathered, it goes back thousands and thousands of years. It's all in biblical scripture, and nobody seems to see this. It's all there. Yes.
Can you describe, what did you see exactly?
Well, when I reached my regiment, they were up in the hills. They were behind the front lines at the time. The second night that I was there with them, I was called on guard duty. It was behind the front lines, so no action was going. It was pretty quiet. I was assigned an area, given a password, and left there by myself. I had never seen the stars as beautiful as I saw them there. Of course, the altitude is high. The air is nice and dry. Excuse me. So I'm looking up at the stars, and I'm looking for the Big Dipper. And I said, gee, where's the Big Dipper? I looked slightly to my right, and I see the Big Dipper. Turned a little bit more to my right, and I saw this light pulsating in and out. No sound. I tried to figure out what the heck, I want to use the other word, what the heck it was. I looked at it and thought about meteors. I thought about flares. I thought about helicopters. I thought about planes. Nothing fit. This light kept coming, and it got directly up overhead until it stopped. I'm looking straight up at it. No sound, still pulsating, doing like this. In my anxiety, I'm 17 now, I did like this. I wanted to come down. I wanted to get closer, but I could make out what this thing was. After about 9 seconds, it started moving out in this direction, still pulsating. Got to a certain distance and stopped. And the light got smaller and smaller until I couldn't see it anymore. I had about 6 more sightings like that at night, by myself mostly, but with other fellows. And we couldn't make out what this was. I had 2 daylight sightings, one just before the truce was to be signed, which was in July. This was maybe about 2 months before that. I'm in what you'd call a squad tent. This is a big tent placed alongside the hill like this. Here's the top, here's the tent. This is the enemy side. And the reason it was done like that, because in case artillery is shot, it comes down like this at an angle. So it would hit here, or skim the top and go down to the valley. Well, I got up one morning to go to the bathroom. The tent was a big tent that holds 12 soldiers, 6 on each side. It's a squad. I was at the rear end of the tent. I got up, walked to the aisle, and made a right. Walked to the front, pushed open the flap, stepped a little further where the dirt was to where there was grass, and there was a shell in the ground where you urinated down in the shell. This is just daybreak. I turn around, halfway turn around, look down in the valley. Then I look up and say, like, I wonder what kind of day it's going to be. And I see clouds kind of low with spaces in between moving like this. I made a complete turn to go back into the tent. Before I went back into the tent, I hesitated and looked at a huge mountain behind the tent at an angle and saw this huge, bright, white, circular light come over this mountain. No sound whatsoever. I mean, it was huge. Went behind the cloud, and it was coming in my direction, but at an angle. If it would pass me, it would pass me on my right-hand side. When it went behind the mountains, I'm looking to see if I could see it pass me. I didn't see anything. Never told anybody about it. The truce was signed in July. After the truce, I had about September, I was going to go back home. But before that, the war was over. Myself and another soldier was coming down from the same hill. We had to make a left, walk a certain distance, cross a stream of water to an open area where there was a road behind it, and trucks were bringing in breakfast for us. They cook it in the rear, and they put it in containers. As we came down the hill and we were walking to that area before we made the right, from behind a hill came this little ball of light. And I always, when I think about it, about the size of a basketball, bright white like that big, huge thing. It was coming in us, zigzagging like this, coming in our direction, and made an abrupt turn. Went down behind the bushes to the right, no, to the left of where we were going to eat. Ours was an open area. When it went down behind the bushes, you couldn't see it. That's how small it was. We sat there, we ate, we never saw it leave. We don't go into areas where we're not familiar with, because we don't know whether it has mines in it or not. That was the last time I saw a UFO in Korea.